Hello, my friends. My name is Ron. The title of my devotional is called Points to Ponder. Without further ado, I'm going to go into my study. Sometimes we read the word and something will catch you as a little strange. And I think this is one of those incidents I had to go deep into study because it didn't tell a whole lot about it. So I got with some scholars, people that knows a lot more than I do, to explain what happens. You know, when I get into the word, it's about Moses. Moses was raised in as an Egyptian, even though he was a Hebrew, had all the luxuries of life, had it made, kind of, in many ways. But instead of enjoying the riches of the kingdom, he discovered that he was a Hebrew. And his mother-in-law was Egyptian. So when he found out that he was a Hebrew, that changed his way of thinking. And of course, this concerned the slaves in Egypt. And Moses seen an Egyptian beating an Israelite. So in a moment of anger, Moses killed the Egyptian. This is a crime that the king would have got hold of him. He would have killed him. So he escaped. When he had a moment, a chance to go, he said, went across the desert, getting as far from Egypt as he could. So he went to the land of Midian. In the land of Midian, the Midianites, he comes across a woman in distress. She's watering her animals, and there's kind of put her to the end of the line, the other shepherds. But Moses came in and helped her so that he got his cattle watered first. And then she told him about her father. Her father's name was Jethro. She's $1 out of $7. She's the oldest one. Her name was Zipporah. Her father's name was Jethro. So they decided to join them and stay with him. He married Zipporah and became her husband. And he started being a shepherd. When he was out one day, they told him about the mountain, Mount Horeb, which was lightnings and strikings and thunderings. And they knew that was where Jehovah lived, Yahweh lived. But no one had seen anything, so it stayed away from that mountain. And when Moses was out there in the mountain, he seen a strange sight. He seen a bush that was on fire but not burning. And the angel of the Lord spoke from the bush and told Moses what he used to do. That he used to go back to Egypt and stand before the Pharaoh and plead for them to be delivered from slavery. So the Lord told him all this, the burning bush, and everything seemed to be agreeable. Of course, he argued with the Lord about he didn't think he had elegant speech. So he needed another mouthpiece. So the Lord finally, kind of angered the Lord some. But he said, what about your brother Aaron, the Levite? He speaks well to the people. And he can be a mouthpiece, and you take this staff with you, and the staff will have different abilities to the power of the Lord. So Moses, this is in verse 20, he took his wife and sons, put them on a donkey, and started back for Egypt. He took the staff of God in his hands. And the Lord said to him, Moses, when you return to Egypt, see that you perform before the Pharaoh all the wonders I have given you the power to do. I will harden his heart so he will not let your people go. And I'm going to go down to verse 23. And I told you, let my son go, that he may go worship me. Now you want to let all the Egyptians go on a 3-day hike to go off to worship the Lord. But then he eventually had no intention of going for 3 days, but to release them from slavery. There are all the things that God would have to do to Pharaoh signs and singles. So this is all set up, and Moses, he loaded up his wife, his sons on a donkey. There's on the way. And Aaron's supposed to meet them later. At the lodging place away, the Lord met Moses and was about to kill him. But Zipporah took a flint knife and he cut off her son's foreskin and threw it at the feet of Moses with it. Now, it doesn't tell much about that, though. She said, though, surely you are a bridegroom of bloody to me. The Lord let him alone at the time she is referring to a bridegroom of blood and referring to circumcision. So here we have God talking to the burning bush. He's telling him what he has to do. And not that much later, he's killing him. Moses is laying on the ground near death. Not that far out, I think the Lord said, I'm going to use you. So Zipporah, his wife, had to take a flint knife and cut off the foreskin of her son and throw it at the ground. Now, we ask why. Why did she have to circumcise him? Now, Moses was circumcised on the 8th day, and he knew the law of Abraham that every male must be circumcised. For some reason, he didn't upon the 8th day of his son's birth. Why? His wife thought this was a hideous practice, is a barbaric thing to do, and she wanted no part of it, so he listened to her. He did not circumcise his sons like you're supposed to because they're listening to his wife. She thought it was barbaric and bloody. So when she cut off the foreskin of her son and threw it at his feet, you see he's laying down, and she told him that speech about bloody, God spared his life. It got better. He was able to meet with his brother later on, Aaron. God had specific directions for Moses, and due to his wife, she's Mennonite. Mennonites would serve God sometimes, but then they had other idols. That's the problem between the Mennonites and the children of Israel later. A big problem. I mean, how can you get along with a person that goes against all that you believe in? Moses, he listened to his wife and didn't do what he was told he must do. Not caused them to but nearly die. How many times have women in society told their men what to do and the circumstances? I mean, that goes back to the Garden of Eden when Eve told, eat of this tree. If I'm going to do it, he did. And he lost him his place in the garden. Moses really messed up there. How can you go to the Israelites and preach to them when your sons are not circumcised? I'd be going against the point. You look like a duck, you quack like a duck, but you don't swim like a duck. You're going to go to a bunch of people to get them, release them. Your sons need to be circumcised as you, but no use going. It will affect your ministry. Well, my friends, I want to tell you this. How about you, though, today? You got mistakes you have not corrected. You got saved, perhaps, but you're still doing pornography. You're a minister. God can't use you in doing things like that. You know that. Or you drink too much and get drunk. And God says you're not supposed to get drunk with wine. And God, you smoke. And it's affecting your ability to witness. You can't puff on a cigarette and talk about the goodness of God. Or smell like tobacco. Or trying to win people to the Lord. Or perhaps you're not doing any of that. Because there's people who work know you're a Christian, or they just think you're a little strange. That's a big one, my friends. Your co-workers don't know you're a Christian, and the way you're living is in vain. And it's a slap in the face to the Lord when people don't know that you're a Christian. How can you preach to them about your life if you're living and you like you're cold and different? Or maybe you like to tell jokes, not dirty, just in it cute. And then you repeat those cute jokes. And the cute jokes are not actually indications you usually have to do with a sexual manner and not being married in a deep sin. So many jokes are so funny. But when you give to your Lord and when you want to get close to God, you can't do that no more, my friends. You got to change. You got to correct many of the mistakes in your life before the coming of the Lord, or you may find out that you're not going to end up in heaven but hell. My friends, I want you to give all your sins over to God and ask Him to help you, to deliver you. Confess your sins to the Lord and start a new day today, this week. I love you. I want to be telling you this good information. I want you to have a blessed week and God be with you. We'll talk sometime later. God bless you.